God.
Christmas version.
Throw some jingle bells in there. It'll make it all Christmassy.
Well,
You got all your buttons pushed.
yeah, I mean, I've got like multiple layer of social media stuff happening right now. For example, I've got Sergeant Alpha Codwell live on Facebook Live, and so she's on that way. And then on my platform here with my switcher, that's just me. So anybody seeing me, they're just going to see me. So let's see. Why did that fail? That failed.
You got a lot
Go
going
live.
on.
Here we go. All right. Hey, how you doing this morning,
Good, how you
Sergeant
doing?
Codwell? I'm doing well. I'm hanging in my old age. You know, you come here every week with the Fayetteville Crime of the Week, and let's just get right to it real quick here because you got a couple of them you want to share.
Well, and I'm doing highlighting two of our cold cases that we've highlighted earlier this year. We're going to highlight them again.
Okay.
So one was with the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office. They're seeking the public's assistance for any information related to the November 10th, 2022 shooting death of Carlos Whitted that occurred in the area along Lawndale Street and Bangle Street. It occurred at around 7:18 p.m. where deputies were dispatched to a shooting on Lawndale Street where they located Whitted, 40 years of age. He was suffering multiple gunshot wounds. He was taken to Cape Fear Valley where he was pronounced deceased. Cumberland County Sheriff's Office is asking anyone with any information to contact the Crime Stoppers tips at 910-483-TIPS if you have any information. The next one is going to be for the Fayetteville Police Department. This one is for Craig Johnson. This was a cold case, homicide cold case from November the 20th, 2005, where Craig Johnson was shot and killed inside of the Lineup Barbershop located at 6376 Yakin Road. Anyone with any information related to the shooting death of Craig Johnson is asked to contact Crime Stoppers at 910-483-TIPS.
You know, and we talked about these stories, and these are a couple that we've done in the past.
Yes.
And the reason we continue to do them is because people kind of come in and out of the area, and as they do that, clues kind of come and go with them.
And someone may hear this who's never heard it before, and for the first time hearing it, they may hear about Crime Stoppers. They may hear these two cases and have some information and be able to provide that.
So now the Cumberland County case, give me that name again. Who is that?
That was Carlos Whitted.
Carlos. And what was circumstances for him again?
He was shot along the, let me get you the correct location, Lawndale Street.
Longdale?
Lawn, Lawndale Street, and Bangle Street off of Cumberland Road.
And so the Crime Stoppers that we have here in this area is the Fayetteville / Cumberland County Crime Stoppers, and you're the liaison for both locations.
Yes.
And so you share stories, try to have some from each municipality.
Yes.
And each.
So when we say when people hear it, it also includes not just Fayetteville and Cumberland County Sheriff's Office, but we have Hope Mills, our surrounding agencies, Hope Mills, Spring Lake, Harnett County, Hope County, St. Paul's, Parkton, all those surrounding areas, Robeson County. If you have tip information, you can provide that, and we'll push it out to those agencies.
The distinct difference for us here in this particular area is something that the city council has done in terms of the reward. Talk about that.
So if you have a tip and your tip is being investigated by the Fayetteville Police Department, your reward can be up to $5,000. If you have a tip from any other agency that's being investigated by another agency, Cumberland County, the Sheriff's Office, Harnett County, Hope County, Spring Lake, Hope Mills, any of those other agencies that is not being investigated by Fayetteville, your tip reward is up to $2,000. So if it's any other agency other than Fayetteville, the tip reward is up to $2,000. If your tip is being investigated by the Fayetteville Police Department, it's up to $5,000, and that is because, like you said, the City Council approved to provide additional monies, $3,000 to the $2,000 that Crime Stoppers provides to make the reward $5,000.
You know, and we talked about that for quite some time because it was a process to get that done.
Yes.
Also talk about the and we always do this, talk about the mechanics of how this works, and that's important.
Very important. So the whole point of Crime Stoppers is so that the anonymity, so that you are anonymous. We don't want to know who you are. So if you have tip information for a crime or for crime that you are witness to in your area, in your neighborhood, you can call Crime Stoppers at 910-483-TIPS, or you can also download or upload the P3 app on your mobile devices. What you'll do is you'll provide that tip information. I will receive that information and then push it out to whatever investigating agency needs to look at that tip.
Now, you actually you personally get
Yes,
the tip? Okay.
I'll receive the tips through the P3 Navigation 360. I'll receive those tips, and then I'll take those tips and whatever, based on the location, that tip will be sent to the investigated agency. If that tip leads to an arrest or a charge, you can receive a reward tip up to $2,000, depending on the age. If it's an agency other than the Fayetteville Police Department, or you can receive a reward up to $5,000 if it's investigated by the Fayetteville Police Department. If that tip leads to an arrest or a charge, you'll be notified through your app or however you uploaded the tip. You'll be advised that, hey, your tip is now being forwarded to the Crime Stoppers board members. They will approve your tips. If they approve your tip, you'll be notified, hey, your tip has now been approved. This is how much you will be rewarded. You will go to whatever location of the bank is on your that's notifying you, and you will receive a tip ID number. You will go to the bank, go to the teller, let them know, hey, I'm here because I want to receive my reward monies for Crime Stoppers tip. You will give them your ID, your tip ID number. Do not give your driver's license. Don't give your name, your phone number, anything to identify you. All they need is the tip number. They will then in turn take that tip number, go retrieve whatever reward monies, hand it to you cash in hand, and you'll be free to go.
You know, and you always just reiterate this process pretty simply, but a lot of people don't understand it.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we always like to make a distinction on is about calling Crime Stoppers as opposed to calling the investigator that's listed on the press release, for example. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of times when you guys send that out, I don't include that name. It's just a lot of numbers for folks to try to remember. But if you have the hard copy, then you can see who the investigator is, and you got the number and can call directly. I say call Fayetteville Police or call Crime Stoppers. Yeah. Tell us why it's important to make the distinction on where you make the call in terms of getting a cash reward.
Okay.
And keep that microphone
So
in.
we want you to contact, if you contact the police department, if you contact the investigator, the detective, what I need you to do is, yes, if you have information, we are not going to turn you away because we need that information to help solve the case. If you call the detective right immediately after contacting the detective, remain anonymous. Do not give the detective your information. Don't give him your name. Remain anonymous. But in turn, right after speaking with the detective, contact Crime Stoppers and provide that information to Crime Stoppers, because then that information will be can be provided to the Crime Stoppers board to be approved for a reward.
And the thing about this is, if you get in touch with the investigator, your subject could be called as a witness.
Yes. If there's a way to identify you, if you provide your name, if you provide a phone number, anything that can identify you, your anonymity is no longer there.
And that's the beauty of Crime Stoppers. That's what it's supposed to be,
Yes.
so that you can provide information to help
Yes.
solve a crime and not your identity not be known.
Yes.
Let's take this another step, because in addition to reporting about a crime, there's also this community connection that you don't have to wait in terms of a crime happening. You can see something happening and in your community, and you want some help. Talk
Yes.
about that a little bit.
So, and I always say this: we have good people. Fayetteville's got good people. I mean, you'll have a few bad apples, but that doesn't mean that Fayetteville's the worst place. We have community members that will utilize Crime Stoppers. Whether it be, hey, there's a neighbor down the street that's selling drugs, or hey, there's a neighbor down the street that's possibly abusing their children. Anything that a neighbor sees that is a crime, they're afraid to come forward and contact 911. They have utilized or can utilize Crime Stoppers. And when I say that there have been citizens who use Crime Stoppers and they do not want a reward. They just want whatever crime is occurring in their area to be taken care of because everybody wants to live in a safe place.
Well, and it has come to fruition for some folks because I've seen some of the press releases you put out where folks who were dealing in drugs were arrested.
Yes.
You know, and you I know I'm not going to put you on the spot and tell you which ones they
Right.
are, but the main thing is this is not something that you're making up.
No. And there have been arrests where you may not see a media release for it, but if you go to the Crime Stoppers Facebook page, we try to do our best to let the community be notified that, hey, this tip led to an arrest. Even though it may not show on the news, a media release may not be done, but on Crime Stoppers, you'll be able to see, hey, on the Facebook page, an arrest was made because of somebody providing a tip.
And talk about this a little bit because, you know, the tip may lead to a cash reward of about $5,000. And the key is it is about $5,000.
Yes.
So if you tell me that someone stole a donut from Krispy Kreme, I'm not going to get $5,000.
No. And when I say this, I'm not trying to be mean or rude, but common sense. If somebody steals a donut,
Come on now,
that's not
those donuts are good donuts. Those are
It's not
good.
worth $5,000.
Those are good donuts. Now, people taking those donuts. You're not going to get
Why does it
$5,000.
have to be a donut?
Well,
But
whatever it
as
might
we're
be.
saying-
Yeah, well, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, all of this. I'm talking to a police officer about donut. But then you should understand the value of that $5,000 donut then. Yeah,
Oh
but you
my
don't.
gosh.
All right, well, that was a bad.
yes.
If somebody stole a bike.
Right.
Right.
There is. If there's a homicide, there's life involved, life and death. Then of course you can get a possibly to $5,000. If somebody's stealing property or items like that, you could possibly get up to. But just being honest, it's not going to be $5,000.
Well, let me ask you this, because the city council came out with this, I think it was around this time last year, when they said, hey, we're going to do this. I think there was a carnival shooting or a lot of things involving juveniles. And city council, Mayor Mitch Colvin, everyone said, we're putting a curfew in, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're going to increase Crime Stoppers rewards. Do you think, is there any way that there's any data that shows that since the reward has gone to $5,000 that there have been an increase in tips that's led to arrests?
I do want to say that there have been an increase in tips, but as far as to an arrest, I don't have I can't say.
But that's a good point, because you don't have to have an arrest
right.
in order to qualify for.
Yes.
Well, why is that? How's that work?
Okay, so ask that question again.
Again, people there doesn't have to be a conviction, let's say, in a case in order for you to qualify for a reward.
Correct.
How does that work?
So even if someone, so how it's done differently is that as long as the tip leads to an arrest or a charge, that doesn't mean that they're being convicted. That doesn't mean you have to wait a year, 2 years until there's the case is resolved in the court system or the judicial system. If there's a charge or an arrest, that will allow you to be a recipient of a reward.
Right, and the point is that an arrest doesn't necessarily mean that Billy West and folks who are prosecuting cases have enough evidence to actually get a conviction.
Correct.
And so, that is a process that you're talking about. It may
Yes.
take a year or so
Yes.
before the case goes to trial, if it goes to trial at all. And there may not be enough evidence, and the person is released. But in the meantime, you put yourself out there,
Yes.
making the tip, and that's what the reward is for. The
Yes.
tip that leads to information that may lead to an arrest, not necessarily a conviction.
Yes.
Okay.
You nailed it.
I've been doing this with you for quite some time. All right. Get ready to run out of here real quick. Give me the two Crime Stoppers crimes of the week so we can highlight those.
Okay. Cumberland County Sheriff's Office is seeking public assistance for the shooting death of Carlos Whitted that occurred on November the 10th, 2022 in the area of Lawndale Street and Bengal Street. That's off of Cumberland Road. Anyone with information is asked to contact Crime Stoppers. The Fayetteville Police Department is seeking any information in the shooting death of Craig Johnson that occurred on November 20th, 2005 at the Lineup Barber Shop located at 6376 Yakin Road. Again, anyone with any information, big or small, any details, heard something, please say something. Contact Crime Stoppers at 910-483-TIPS.
And Craig Johnson that's a 20-year-old case.
Yes.
20 years old, and we're still asking for information.
Yes.
And you're seriously asking for information because you really think that someone knows something, and maybe we can get some closure for families. Let's not lose sight of what this is about. It is
Yes.
about being able to get some closure for families who are I think this family comes down from Greensboro.
Yes.
You
It's
know,
Greensboro, Greenville. I know somewhere up around that way. Yes.
Yeah, they come down every year and walk
Yes.
the street to put the flyers out in hopes. And we've
Yeah.
made this point also that the perpetrator of this crime may his or herself be dead as well
Could be.
because of so much time has gone by.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change the fact that the family's still searching for closure. And if we
Yes.
find out that, not we, but if through the investigation you find out that this person was responsible, but they have since died, then that would still be good information for the
Yes.
family to know.
Yes.
All right, Sergeant Caldwell, I'm giving you a chance to operate on behalf of the Fayetteville Police Department to wish somebody a Merry Christmas and
Yes.
everything. Go ahead, so you do it.
Merry Christmas, Fayetteville. Have a wonderful and blessed and happy Merry Christmas and a wonderful blessed New Year.
And today is Wednesday, right?
Yes.
And you come on
is it?
Wednesday?
No, Tuesday.
Tuesday. So you won't be here next Tuesday. Oh, yeah, you come
No,
next Tuesday.
I won't, but Major Street Pay may be in my
Street
place.
Pay makes it okay.
Yes.
Street, I like street. Okay, that's great. So, all right. Well, look, Happy New Year and all that
Yes.
stuff. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
You're listening to News Talk 640 WFNC. We've got Fayetteville's most dependable forecast with CBS meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.